Something very scary happened to me yesterday. Probably the closest I've come in a long time, if ever, to a near-death experience. Had things gone a little differently, I might not be here right now. So I've been trying to get to Ghana for a while. It's a small country in West Africa. It's about a 10-hour nonstop flight from New York City. Originally, I was planning to go a few weeks ago. I booked a ticket. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that a visa was required for US citizens traveling to Ghana. So I had to reschedule. So I canceled the flight, I had to rebook. I show up to the airport and we're sitting there, it's a midnight flight, ready to fly from New York to Accra, Ghana. And they announce a flight delay. Originally it's an hour delay, and then the Delta spokesperson gets on and tells us that the captain of the plane has become grievously ill at the last minute, and we have to reschedule the flight to tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. So I'm on this midnight flight, and now because the captain is sick, they have to get a new captain and then fly a totally different plane tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Okay, so I'm packed up there at midnight, ready to go to Accra with all my stuff. I go home, I barely get any sleep, super anxious. Show up tomorrow to the airport at 3:30 p.m. We get on the plane, it's a new captain, new plane. And so it's 3:30 p.m., we're ready to travel to Accra. We board the plane successfully, and this was yesterday, 3:30 p.m. And unfortunately, yesterday there were thunderstorms. Lightning in the area, so the plane can't take off. So we're sitting on the tarmac for an hour. We can't take off because there's lightning, thunder. So I'm sitting on the tarmac, like emailing my contacts in Ghana, being like, hey, we're gonna be late. We start moving, and we finally take off. Okay, so now we're in the air. There's a little bit of turbulence, but it's okay. I'm just relieved to finally be traveling to Ghana. There's a lot of stuff, by the way, involved in traveling to this country. You need to get a visa, you have to get a yellow fever vaccination, you have to get a temperature check when you're getting on the plane. So there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of moving pieces, and keep in mind, each time these planes are delayed or rescheduled, I'm having to cancel my hotels, I'm having to move everything around. It's a couple hours into the flight, maybe 2 or 3 hours, close to midway over the Atlantic Ocean. I'm sitting in the mid row, and I see the captain come down the aisle and start looking out the window at the wing of the plane. Okay, so he's standing there, he's looking out the window at the wing of the plane. He's opening people's window sliders on the plane up to look out at the window. This is the captain, the guy who's flying the plane. He's like reaching over people's seats to open the window, and he's traveling to like multiple people's seats. So he's like opening up one person's window, and then he's going to the next seat. He's trying to get the best angle to look at the wing at. And this is causing a bit of a stir on the plane. I remember saying to the guy sitting next to me, like, this doesn't look good. Think about like the captain of your plane, and I've never seen this before. He's coming into the passenger seats to look out the passenger windows at the wing of the plane. So I'm thinking, what's going on right now? But I mean, like, what are you gonna do as a passenger? I was wondering like if there was some issue with the wing, or like something he was doing, he wasn't able to like maneuver the wing successfully. It's kind of a scary sight to see the captain of the plane trying to get a physical look at the wing of the plane. And so I was seeing a bunch of whispering and rumors going on, but nothing officially from the flight deck until maybe like an hour later, when the captain comes on and he says, I'm very sorry, but we have a fuel issue. And we're midway over the Atlantic at this point. And he says, we are gonna need to return to New York. And he says the plane is momentarily going to make a right turn, and we're going back. And when we get back, there's going to be ground crews to check the configuration of the plane and make sure everything's okay. And the plane just erupts, as you can imagine. Like, holy shit. At this point, this isn't like a, yes, my plane's been delayed a few times, can't get to Ghana now. But that's not what I'm thinking in the moment. what I'm thinking in the moment is there's a fuel issue on this plane, and we're thousands of miles out over the Atlantic Ocean, like hours from any land. Like, what? This is not good. So when I remember looking at the flight tracker, right, and our plane, like, I've never seen anything like this. We're flying out of the middle of the Atlantic. We just turn around mid-flight and we're going straight back to JFK now. I go over and talk to one of the flight attendants. She says it's some kind of fuel leak. Like, we have 2 hours to get back to New York. You don't know what's gonna happen.
I hope everything's okay with this flight. It'd be really great to be able to hold my baby again. If this is my last video, and they somehow recover this phone, then I really hope I'm overreacting here. I'm sure I am. But, I love you guys. I love my family and I love my friends. So you guys really mean everything to me. And it's only in situations like this, I think, that you really realize what's really important to you and what really matters in life. Just want to hold my baby, man.
And at this point, like, the Ghana trip isn't even in my mind anymore. It's just like, can we get back to New York successfully? And fortunately, at this point, the Wi-Fi on the plane is working just for messages. But I start texting my wife, and here's what I said. I said, "Babe." That means like honey in Chinese. And can you imagine getting these texts as the wife of somebody currently 40,000 feet up over the Atlantic Ocean? I said, "Please don't be worried. We are over the Atlantic right now and had to turn around. The plane is coming back to JFK now. That's New York Airport. Apparently there is some sort of fuel issue. It will be safe. But if anything happens, I love you so much, and let baby Elon know how much I love him always. And my parents, I love them so much. Brothers too. And it's our nanny. And then my wife says, "OMG, OMG, what are you talking about? I love you so much." What's the last thing you say to someone in a situation like that? What's like, like, God forbid, if this is gonna be your last words to somebody, what do you say, right? There's a priest sitting in the aisle right across from me, and a nun, and I'm just thinking, like, there was ever a time when we needed some extraterrestrial help, that would be now. And it was funny because sitting on the aisle on the other side of me, there's a Muslim woman, and she's got a copy of the Quran or some other Arabic prayer book, and she's reading from it. And now, as we're flying back to New York, right, you still got the thunderstorms and the lightning, so we're flying through all that. And the plane is bumping around, and I'm just like, oh my God. And we still don't know, like, what the issue is. Like, any of these minor shocks of turbulence, it could be normal turbulence, or it could be your last moment on Earth. Right? As we start getting into, like, US airspace, as the plane is shuddering with turbulence or some unknown fuel issue, we start, like, getting emails. And we start getting these Delta emails being like, here's your complimentary meal voucher. We're sorry there was an inconvenience on your flight. And we're seeing the city night lights, and I finally see New York, and I'm like, man, we're this close. The captain comes over the speakers and said, "Hey, this is going to be a normal landing." Right? He's reassuring us that we're going to be landing normally. So that honestly doesn't really make me feel so great. Like, we're like, okay, don't worry guys, this is going to be a normal landing, right? As opposed to finally 10 p.m., 11 p.m., the plane touches down on land, and we're all safe. I remember just the feeling of, like, relief. And after we land, like, it was for the most part, like a normal landing, but when we finally reach the gate, there's like fire trucks and ambulances surrounding the plane, which gives you an idea of like the potential severity of the situation. I mean, fortunately, it was caught early enough where it wasn't an issue, but it could have been something much worse. As we were leaving the plane, the captain recognized me. I got to get into the cockpit and actually ask him like what happened.
How many languages do you speak?
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Well, what actually happened? Like there was a.
So we actually had a fuel imbalance. So this is the right main fuel tank, and this is the left main fuel tank.
Yeah.
And there's a huge disparity, and we were not able to automatically or manually balance the fuel.
Wow.
So we could not continue the flight.
Dude, can I get a picture?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So a little bit after that, the captain was kind of like explaining what could have happened on the plane. It sounds like the fuel imbalance is a really, really severe situation. Like, you know, fortunately, we were able to get back without an issue, but it's a good thing he caught it as quickly as he did, because what he was saying was that if that fuel imbalance, like I guess there's two different like sides of the plane, I guess there's two different fuel tanks, and if one of them has more fuel than the other for whatever reason, I guess it was some kind of mechanical error, one of the engines can flame out on the plane, and that would have been a really bad situation, but he caught it, you know, early enough to save all our lives, basically. So that's fucking crazy, man. Shit, like, you know, we could have all just died right there, and yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's just like things like this. Like you just realize, like how, you know, how crazy shit can get. Yeah, man. I don't know, but it sort of teaches you to like value the important stuff in life, I guess.
This captain really saved all our lives, and I'm super grateful for that. If this story has a motto, give your loved ones a hug, because you never know if today might be your last. It's just really clarifying when you're in a situation like that and you don't know what's gonna happen. You really realize what's important in life. All the bullshit and everything, you know, just kind of goes away, and you just realize like what really matters. So
I need you more.